So we've got another batch of agates to go through from Joshua over at Agatebay. This round is going to be the famous Montana Dryhead Agates. Dryhead agates are a variety of sedimentary agate, so that means they formed in sedimentary occurrences. So what most likely happened is that with the deposition of sediment layers, they compressed and turned into sedimentary rock. But in those layers, there was organic material trapped in there that left cavities. And then these cavities, even though they are a bit squished, had enough space and there were enough fractures in the rock for silica-rich water to pour into the cavities and form these agates. This example is a half nodule with a kind of a quartzy geode pocket. As you can see, there are some really nice tight red fortification, white and red and orange fortification bands around the outside, and then the inside has the quartz, and then there's even a bit of calcite. So these crystals here, and then these iron stained blobs in here are calcite crystals. But what we're hoping for is something a bit more solid with more fortification bands. For example, this piece, you can see there's an exposed face with fortification bands, and you can see there are some very tight, finely detailed fortification bands of red, bright red and orange, which is why these Dryhead agates are so famous. As like before, I am told that these are kind of premium examples of what you would expect to get if you bought Dryhead material. Now, I have like 5 pieces that I have definite faces on, and then a bunch of pieces that I don't have, like I have little faces on, but nothing super crazy. I've been given some advice by other people who've cut this material. Thank you, JNV. I'll put a link into the description to their video, actually, of the material that they cut. But I've been told to, if there is, for example, you can see there's a little bits of agate face poking through on this kind of grayer sandstone material. I've been told to focus on these grayer sandstone lumps if you see definite faces, because, and I can kind of actually feel it, that this grayer sandstone feels a lot more heavier than this red sandstone. So with this one, I'll probably actually just cut across this way and hopefully get a nice wide face. But that's the one thing with sedimentary agates, is unlike agates that you would expect to find in like basalts or volcanic occurrences, the pockets that the agate form in can be quite squished and quite small or quite narrow and weirdly shaped, just due to like the compression that's occurring in the sedimentary formations. And so sometimes it's a bit of a gamble getting a nice large face. So let's take these to the saw and get started cutting. Starting off with this first one, it was a pretty obvious window on this side, so I kept the cut as clean as possible. Fortunately, a little bit of chipping on the end here, but this piece turned out spectacular. Look at that. This is what dryheads are all about. But yeah, I think, fortunately my blade, I think it's time for a new blade, so it was not cutting as smoothly as I wanted to. And this is sedimentary rock, so the vibrations were chipping in a little bit more than I was expecting. I don't have exactly the most state-of-the-art stone saw, though. Should have cut a little cleaner than this. So I think I gotta change out my blades. Another one of the ones that has the faces on it. And we got some beautiful fortification banding. On the outside, it looked like there was a little bit of a calcite pocket in there, and not seeing too much of that, which is good. Another unfortunate fracture over there. But that's because of, I can see on this side it's fractured here too, so that was just a natural fracture. And that's what you get sometimes with these pieces, is you'll get unexpected fractures, which is a bit annoying. So we might have to polish down to the edge of that end of that fracture, but that might actually take rid of a lot of the agate material in this nodule. But you can see I cut pretty close to the face there, because I knew for sure I'd get some sort of face, and hopefully if I'm close, using the understanding that sedimentary agates can lose shape real quickly and get quite thin, the pockets can get quite thin, I use that to kind of go hedge my bet and get a nice face. This one kind of fractured into a couple pieces, but this is a great example of what I was just talking about with the last piece, where the pockets can just disappear real quick, because we got a nice big pocket here. Yeah, it's got some calcite and quartz in it, but it's a pretty big pocket, and then all of a sudden it's already starting to become a lot skinnier, though the colors and fortification bands are still quite spectacular. I love Dryheads. They're probably one of my favorite agates out there. Now with this piece, it was just this gray knobby stuff was just covered in agate, and it was such a pain to cut, which is unfortunate, because you can see where I butchered it here. I need to get a fresh blade. Like, that shouldn't have been happening. Kind of kicking myself that happened, because you'll see. Because this piece, even though the cut was super awkward and I butchered it here, it's still super spectacular. Did have a little bit of a fracture here, just some fractured material, but holy cow, this is what you want from a Dryhead. This is kind of the stuff you're looking for. This is the like top quality stuff. But yeah, you can see I butchered it here. Feel like I know some people send their material off to people to get polished. Work is going to get busy for me again, so I might actually just invest in sending some material to a local person to polish, or find somebody to polish the stuff for me, because I just don't have the time for it. Like, I have the equipment, but I can do some small projects and stuff, but like bigger pieces like this, I probably just need to find somebody to send it to. But like, look at that. That is spectacular. I am pretty ecstatic about this. Like, I'm just in awe, like that creation, that nature could do something this crazy and just mind-blowing. Like, I'm very happy with this. Just so cool. I have a feeling when I ask at the end of the video which one your favorite is going to be, I have a feeling I know which one people are going to pick, because you can't really beat this. This is spectacular. Now with this piece, there was an obvious face on this side, and then I believe on this side, yeah, we also had a face. So I kind of tried to go kind of dead center of the hump here, and just kind of gambled, hoping that this connects to this. It has something nice and big in the middle. And wouldn't you know it, it did. It's got a nice floater pocket. So when I say floater, we've got the chalcedony, the agate, the fortified chalcedony on the outside. And then we've got quartz crystals. But then we've got some more kind of opal or agate in the middle. So that's what's called a floater. So basically you got agate, quartz, and then agate again. Sometimes you can get agate, quartz, and it goes on for a bit, but you can see it's really lovely on this one. The agate has kind of taken some of the shape of the quartz crystals, so you can see the quartz crystals were kind of going this way. So I kind of cut diagonally across the faces of the quartz crystals, and you get this lovely kind of pattern because of that, with the white agate in the middle. So I am quite pleased with this one. This one turned out really, really nice. Now with this one, it's missing all the colors. I've never actually seen a Dryhead like this. I don't know if it's survivorship bias, where they only show the really cool Dryheads, and so these kind of yellow, boring, kind of white blanched ones don't see the light of day, but I haven't seen too much of these. It's just kind of interesting. But yeah, definitely not your regular old Dryhead. It's got some quartz and calcite in the middle. This kind of yellow fractured stuff is the calcite. But I was not expecting this type. This seems uncommon. I don't know if this might actually, by the looks of it, it could be calcite, and then followed by chalcedony, followed by quartz, and then back to calcite. I'm thinking that's what it might be. That it's just some more like calcite-like material. Or it could just be some yellow chalcedony. This one you can tell there's agate on the ends. And from, like I mentioned before, it seems like this kind of grayer, kind of craggly limestone material seems the better bet. And sure enough, we got some more of that lovely fortification banding. A little bit of quartz in there. Some of the quartz almost looks pink, but I think that's just because of the red and orange behind. But this one is kind of like more what you might expect if you get a piece cut with some stuff in it. Kind of follows that same idea of like, you're not going to maybe get these huge pockets in these all the time. A lot of them are kind of going to be small and squished, but still quite fantastic. Like the colors, the saturation, like the intensity of the colors, and like the banding is pretty insane. Let's see if we can actually kind of get a nice close-up of the banding. Like you can see all those tightly packed fortification bands. Like pretty crazy. So this one, I could tell there was some agate there. And then the rest of it, I was like, well, I don't know for sure. So I just kind of gambled and went through the middle. This was one of the pieces, this piece I kind of was an experiment piece. I was just trying to judge like, okay, if I go like this way or if I cut this way, how will it look? And I think I gambled okay. Unfortunately, you can see there was some blowout right at the end. But, I mean, still a really spectacular piece. Like, look at those fortification bandings. And we've got, like, some reds, oranges, yellows, some whites, some peachy colors. It's a real shame we got a kind of break there, though. You know, this probably will just spend a long time on like some of the first polishing pads to get a smooth face. But yeah, you can see, so like I was saying, it's kind of the gray knobby bit, and then the back is kind of the more smooth brown bit. You can see that it likes to gravitate towards the gray a bit more. But really fantastic Dryhead agate material. So far, I haven't shot really well. Some are not as spectacular, but they're not duds at least, which is the big thing. I was really struggling cutting this one. like I mentioned before, I think my blade is a bit old. It was like binding and it wasn't cutting as smoothly as I wanted to. So this one unfortunately got a little butchered with the cut, as you can see. But it turned out to be quite spectacular. As far as dry heads go, I know the fuller faces are like what's desired, but I like these kind of brecciated, kind of fractured designs. I think those are pretty cool too, and like we've got some really cool differentiation in colors and banding, and we've got some quartz in there, and like this side is super cool. In person, like it's a lot more, the colors are a lot more vivid. On the phone, the colors feel a little washed out, which is unfortunate because these pinks are super vivid in person, and same with the reds and the oranges, but on the phone it just, I don't think it does it justice. But yeah, this one I'm pretty excited and happy about. So all I could see on this one is this little face, and then this little face. That showed me I was hoping some good promise, but then when I started cutting, it cut real quick, which usually either means you've got matrix, the soft sedimentary matrix material. The softer sedimentary matrix material, like this gray stuff is kind of softer, I think. The red stuff is a little harder, but still I think it cuts a bit quicker than agate. Or it could be quartz. And in this case, it's quartz. I mean, still kind of cool, but would have been cooler if we at least had a floater in the middle, you know? Could we at least get that? But, I mean, it's still a nice full piece with some nice, very nice, well-saturated, tightly packed fortification bands. So this one, you can see there's a bit of face there, and then there's a bit of agate kind of poking through, but it's some of the clearer agate that I showed you in that first one, so obviously that exists in more of them. But this one actually didn't turn out half bad. The quartz kind of has that pinky color again because of the red agate behind, but then there's like separate pockets in this clearer kind of yellowish, greenish chalcedony. So, little fascinating pieces. Like nothing like the big spectacular pieces, but still, it's not a dud. And the fortifications are nice, and the saturation is still super intense. Now this one was definitely my first dud. Looks like it's almost all calcite with a bit of chalcedony. And I kind of just cut it into a couple sections just to kind of just look through it, see like if there was changes in this type of material, if it would be worth, if I had another piece like this, that I'd slab it. But it seems like it just goes all the way through and it doesn't really change. So, you know, you can't win them all. This is kind of the first real dud of the cutting session. But so far my score or my track record is pretty good. Now with this one, you can see there's a bunch of red material in this gray stuff. And I was just like I was trying to judge it, and there's a lot of like, because of the gray stuff, there's a lot of like these small windows, and I was trying to judge it, and I was like, this feels kind of heavy, maybe I cut there, maybe I cut here, and like go for where more of the red stuff is showing, though there's some red stuff on this side, and this side feels pretty heavy. But I'm pretty happy with where I went, because if we look, we've got some real spectacular pieces. Really nice opal, kind of white opal-y material. There's some interesting black stuff. Maybe some manganese or oxide or magnesium material in there. But like, look at that. And then there's like some eyes. And this side as well, just fantastic material. once again, quite happy with this piece. Like, so far, they've treated me fairly. I feel like if I cut here, I'd get another, like, fantastic piece, but the rule is the best specimens are always the full, like the halves. So I don't think I'm going to do that. You can see again there, kind of did a bit of an ugly fracture there. But very fantastic. Very happy with that. We'll just quickly go through this one because it doesn't feel right to not show them. But yeah, another dud. I just slapped through it. I guess I could cut here, but like it really doesn't seem like there's much going on. Like there might be a little bit over here. Maybe I'll give it a one more quick cut, but like doesn't really show any signs of promise. So, but you can't win them all. So far, it's like basically been like 2 or 3 duds-ish kind of. So I can't complain. This material's been pretty good to me so far. So this one I had a bunch of agate exposed here, so I couldn't just kind of cut here. I was really struggling where to place my cut on this one. And where I ended up was half decent. I think I could have maybe gotten a better cut, but there was a lot of like just a lot of little faces exposed. Was kind of you can see like I even went through a couple faces on this side, so like it wasn't perfect, but you know, still interesting material. Still might be worth it to polish up and do something with. This brings us to the end of the video. I want to say thank you to Joshua for sending this material for a fair price and giving me the opportunity to cut such awesome material. I never thought I would get to, but I guess sometimes life throws you some unexpected awesomeness. So thank you, Joshua, for doing your agate program. Like I said, this is material that I got from Joshua over at Agatebay. It is an example of like the premium material you might expect to get from Dryhead agate material. And I would say this is definitely maybe on the better side, though there are definitely some more stereotypical pieces and a couple duds, which is, you know, that's what you expect from cutting agates. You gotta be truthful about it. But yeah, I am quite happy with this material. So if you haven't already, please do like and subscribe. Really helps out the channel. And please, folks, in the comments below, let me know what you guys found the coolest. Which ones, like throw timestamps down, all that cool stuff. And just have a wonderful day. And I will see you guys in the next video.